Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Dan Harley from Tackle Now. It is Saturday morning, and we've just gone over the Ripplefisher and Yamaga popping line, GT popping as well as tuna popping. So this is part 2 of the video, and we are going to introduce you to the Galahad slow pitch rods, and also go over the travel rods and touch on the seafloor control rods as well. So as you know, there's many manufacturers out there of slow pitch rods, and every manufacturer has their own take on slow pitch and their own style and their own approach. There's really no right or wrong. There's ones that are better suited to different styles of fishermen and different locations. So I carry 3 different lines of slow pitch jigging rods, and I want to introduce you to the Yamaga slow pitch rods. They're really fantastically made, 100% Japanese rods, and they're really not that expensive for what they are. They start at $449 for the Dash 2, and they go up to just under $500 for the Dash 4. So I have them arranged from heaviest to lightest. The heaviest is a 6'2", 400-gram rod. You see that on the far left. It's a one-piece rod. It uses 100% Fuji components. And if I were to describe the Temple Reef as a very soft and more parabolic bend, I would describe this one as a slightly faster and less parabolic, meaning it's not going to bend into a U. It's designed to bend into the letter C. So again, there's no right or wrong. It really depends what your style is. When I picked up this line this past May, being a tackle addict myself, I have acquired 3 of these Yamaga jigging rods myself. So I'm now fishing a 62.3 and a 63/2. And they're really beautiful rods. I do like them. They have a little bit more backbone. I used them very successfully on a fluke trip up in Nantucket on the KDB, where I had 3 fluke over 10 pounds on the 63.3 rod. And it's the type of rod where you can actually lift a fluke off the bottom in current. And I was also fishing some pretty heavy sinkers. I was basically using it as a bait rod, just to put it through its paces. It was the first time I had used the rod. And, my boatmates were in shock and awe. They were wondering, given my poor fishing skills, how I was doing so well. So they attributed it all to the rod. What could I tell you? But in all seriousness, they are very well-made rods. Everything you would expect in a Japanese rod. The fit and finish is wonderful. It's straight guides. The guides are a little bit bigger than you find on the Temple Reef rods. Thus, the knots pass through with ease, and you don't have hang-ups and crashing of the guides. But I do think you'll like them. So you have those models. You have the 62.4, 63.3, 63.2, and then you get into the traditional rods. So these examples of this would be the 633, which is a really nice rod. It's a 6'3", rated to 180-gram jig, PE3 line. That's a spinning right there. They also have it as a 622B, which is bait, and a 623 bait, which I happen to own, which is a 200-gram rod. I actually used it on a sea bass trip a couple weeks ago. A lot of fun. These rods are just beautiful. Trigger reel seat. They somehow have found a wider Fuji reel seat, so it's not kind of the one that's almost pointy at the end. It's a little bit wider, but it's still a DPS 20 size, so it fits in your hand really nicely. They also go a little bit heavier. There's a 634, which we have in spinning. That's up to a 220 gram jig, so 8 ounces, PE4, 15 pounds of drag, conservatively. There's also a 632S. I'm going to drop down a little bit and go over some of the packable and travel rods for you guys. So these rods are great for the guys that are going on places where you can't take a full-size rod tube. So we have an Aquila EX836, which is an 8'3" rod, PE6. And as you can see, it packs down to about 40 inches. We also have a Galahad 595S, which is just under 6 foot PE5 rod in spinning. And then if you wanted to go a little bit lighter, this is actually a really, really nice rod. I saw a lot of these. We have an Aquila 793, so it's 7 foot 9 inches PE3, and it packs down to about 42 inches. I'll come back so you guys can see the size of the case. They come in a really nice soft case. You can't check it. You have to either put that inside of another tube, put it inside hard luggage, or just carry it on the plane with you and put it in the overhead. Next, I want to show you guys some of the limited edition rods we have. I have a few left of the Blue Current 82F Nano, which is the fireworks edition that came out this summer. We're always a little bit behind being in America, so we actually just recently got the limited edition that Japan probably got in, October or something like that. Beautiful, beautiful rod, 2-piece. It is rated up to PE 0.6, max lure of 18 grams. So it's an 8'2" spinning rod. Here in the States, that would just be for trout fishing, light lake fishing, probably back bay, stuff like that. It would be a lot of fun. This is mainly a Yamaga video, but I'll show you what we have right now in terms of seafloor control jam rods. The seafloor control is a very bendy, very sensitive, slow pitch rod. It's really more for the intermediate to advanced angler. I don't know that I would really recommend that rod as your first slow pitch rod. They're a little bit expensive. They're $550, but they're beautifully, beautifully made and so light. It's just incredible. They're very, very thin. And they are, 6'3", and they're made from from a jam 1 up to a 6. So going backwards, the 6 would be 600 gram, the 5 would be 500 gram. We have a few of the 4s in stock, so that would be a 400 gram rod, equivalent to a Levitate-3. We also have a few of the 3, and that is a 300 gram rod, really more akin to a Levitate, somewhere between a 1 and a 2 in terms of jig weight. Again, really nicely made rods, super, super thin, super sensitive, really more for the advanced angler. All right, well, I hope I didn't go too fast. I certainly encourage you to reach out. You can message me via our Facebook page. You can email me. You can visit us online at www.tacklenow.com, and I will surely respond to you as soon as I can. I have a really good response rate via our Facebook pages, so that's a great way to get in touch with us via Facebook Messenger, or you can also email us. There's a form on the website, www.tacklenow.com, a Contact Us button, and you can shoot us off an email that way. All right, thank you for your time. I appreciate you tuning in. Good luck fishing.